The Independent Republic of Mike Graham on Talk Radio.
Lots of breaking stories going on as we speak, of course. You will have heard about the John Leslie situation, which we can't say too much about because he's just been arrested and charged. We've just sent another warship to the Gulf, apparently, as well, no doubt to escort one or two oil tankers through the Straits of Hormuz. We shall see what goes on there and keep an eye on that over the course of the weekend. But how about this for a headline, right, which is one you perhaps wouldn't have expected to see, never mind be discussed actually right here on the Independent Republic of Mike Graham. It basically says this, that men who have plastic surgery are seen as more likeable. Now, I don't know why they would be seen as more likeable, and I don't understand how that could possibly be the case, but researchers found that facial nips and tucks that have been performed on people like Simon Cowell actually enhance perceptions of noble characteristics, including honesty. Really? Let's talk to Dr. Dirk Kremer and find out why this is. Dr. Dirk, a very good afternoon to you.
Hi, thank you. Happy to make on the show.
Thanks for joining us. I mean, rather confusingly, the people running the story of this particular study have used a picture of Michael Jackson as an illustration of somebody who is somebody to be seen as honest and noble. Exactly. I'm not quite sure they've got that one right.
When I first saw this article and you guys approached me and what do you have to say, and I was thinking also the same like you said, that's really weird because Michael Jackson's not the person who looks very trustworthy.
No, he's also not a great study in what to do if you get plastic surgery, because he had so much plastic surgery that it completely changed the way he looked.
I was wondering, I think the point is what they want to say, that if you have a certain look, you might look, as they say, trustworthy, honest, you might look successful, but it should look like you have plastic surgery. That's the very important difference.
Right.
It should look natural. Of course, if you sit in front of me and you're full of plastic surgery, I don't think you're trustworthy at all.
No, and I think the same goes. I mean, I was going to say I think the same goes for women as well, because there's a certain point at which, say, one or two actresses, I'm not going to name them, or one or two people who have been in the news, if they've had too much plastic surgery, it just looks wrong. It
looks wrong, it looks silly, and especially a man doesn't get away with that.
Right.
So women, well, it's a fine line, maybe yes. Men, they could easily feminize. They look too done, they look narcissistic if it's all about the looks. So it should be, we talk about subtle changes, and that maybe might change the perception of how people look at you. And it's very interesting. If you look in the mirror, and everybody who listens can do that very easily when they look in the mirror, and by changing the shape of your eyebrow, if you, for example, put the middle of your eyebrow with a finger a bit lower, or you raise the brows, or on the side, the eyebrows, you lift them with your finger, you always create a different facial expression.
Yeah.
You could look very friendly, you could look devilish, you could look mean, you could look very astonished. So just by like a millimeter, the eyebrows higher or lower, we can already make such a change in our appearance. So that's, I think, what these researchers talked about, that little facial features let us think, give an impression what type you are, which unfortunately it's not true. It's the same if you think about it. If it's an old example, if somebody with very, very thin lip, a very thin-lipped woman, for example, it's very unfortunate for them, but probably people would say, he's mean, he's not such a friendly woman. Whereas a woman with full voluptuous lips, you think, oh, she's sweet, which is unfortunately not true. And that's right. Very unfortunate for the people with, for example, thin lips, that our brain works like this. Nobody, we didn't learn that. You asked 20 people, you show somebody with thinner lips, they're probably going to come to the same conclusion.
Right.
So they're not in the cosmetic industry, they don't work that. And you wonder, why do they judge the same? Because our brain connects different facial features, and we come to the conclusion how a person is.
Right, because, I mean, I don't know whether this has been brought on more by the kind of onset of what we see on TV, for example, Love Island, which is full of people who have had little nips and tucks, even though they're still quite young. I mean, not all of them have, but an awful lot of them have, and it's all about how they look. It's all about, what your first impression is of them rather than what sort of personality they have, really. And, I mean, is this very much a survey which fits in with what you might call sort of Western values, as it were? So if you went to another part of the world, you might find that actually people's perceptions of the way you look are completely different.
We live in a global world, and just brings the example of social media, Instagram. So, we're worldwide connected. So that's why it is definitely a global trend. To Asian countries, they're hysterical with their looks. So you can't say that it's different or better. It's the same thing. We watch pictures on Instagram on like an hourly basis, and there are people from all over the world. So this is a trend, I would say, if you in a modern world, that it goes nationwide, worldwide.
Right. And according to the study, it says 50% of men aged 18 to 30 might consider having a procedure. That's a lot, isn't it, compared to maybe a few years ago?
It's a lot. It's still, compared to women, it's like 15 to 20% the percentage of patients who are male in the cosmetic surgery industry. It definitely has risen, the number, and the last year we had the average age of male patient undergoing cosmetic procedures with under 45 because the number of the early 20s have risen, and that's really, I talked about it many, many times due to this Instagram culture. It becomes so important, the first impression, and unfortunately, yes, the way you look, people judge you. And I'm a plastic surgeon, so I have to point out I'm not so superficial to say that's the right way. I think it's the wrong way. And I made so many times the experience that a person that you would maybe judge doesn't have the perfect facial features, but with great charismatic personality, with being funny, they become looking good or beautiful. So it's too easy to say I make a few changes and basically my personality, I'm an idiot.
Right.
Then you won't look as good anymore. So we shouldn't just judge by the looks, or we shouldn't emphasize that that's the most important thing. We still should work on our personality. I think a charismatic person is always looking beautiful.
Right. I mean, would you say there is, I don't know whether you have such a thing, but do you have sort of a book when people come to see you with the perfect face in it and say, well, you could either look like this or we could make you look a little bit like this?
Usually these patients, especially male patients, come with a perfect picture. And what the difference is, it used to be that they come with a picture from a movie star or a pop star. Now they come with their own picture, modified with one of these apps, on the mobile phone. You take a selfie, then you can modify it. So then they say, I look amazing. I got so many more likes when I posted my picture modified like that. And so that's very interesting, though. They come with a modified picture and say, can you make me look like this picture?
And do you think more men now want to do it then, as far as getting, because that's the reasoning, they think they can make themselves more attractive?
Oh, definitely. I mean, they follow the example which women have given over almost 6 decades. Men woke up in the last 5 years, I would say. Before, it was really when you had a male patient who was very focused on the looks, it was almost borderline to, you thought is a narcissistic person. Nowadays, a young gentleman comes into the office and clearly says, what, could you do this and that? I'd look better, I'd come across better. You believe this person, you listen to this guy, and you try to help him if it makes sense. But there has been a shift in the male patient, the motivation they have.
Now, I'm told disgracefully that my production team have sent you a picture of me. I'm surprised you didn't have one. I'm surprised you didn't have one already, to be honest, Dr. Dirk. But have you spotted any improvements that you could make? We haven't got that much time, obviously.
I looked at the picture, and first of all, it left a very good impression. And the way you are, the combination of all the facial features, you created a type. You look very arty. You look like a bit of witty. You look like fun. So up to me to say we need to change that. I wouldn't say that. If you tell me now, I would like to have a modified jawline. I would like to have more open eyelids. Can you do that? I would tell you, yes, we can do that. But I think I always step back. I would never tell you now, what, Mike, do this and this and this, and you will look better. Because
I have in many ways.
Talking to you, you look great. You're a great person.
Well, also, I've had this face for a long time. My producer rather unkindly says any jawline would be good for me at this point, but that just involves losing a bit of weight. But I've got the perfect nose, I've often been told, and my lips are very luxurious.
Very, and especially the lower lip I've seen. It looks very good. I've nothing to say. The nose is perfect. Exactly. The way you present yourself, the hairstyle, the glasses you chose, it created this arty, Yeah, an arty guy. So
There we are. Listen, you can
I
come
would
back
attend anything,
anytime.
You're perfect.
Listen, Dr. Dirk, appreciate it. Thank you very much indeed. Dr. Dirk Kremer there. What a very splendid plastic surgeon he is. He basically says, I don't need any plastic surgery. I've got the perfect face. I'm arty, I'm funny, I'm witty. He likes my hair. This is great, isn't it? This is Talk Radio.